In order to get an idea of how other students understood nonverbal communication in terms of attraction, we asked both males and females to answer the following questions. What nonverbal communication do you exhibit to show interest in someone? And what nonverbal communication do you look for in order to find out if someone is interested in you? Here are some of the responses we received.
Man, I look them right in the eyes. So eye contact, just give them a little smirk like, what's up, baby? I don't know, I'm not as swaggy as you, Cam, but I can definitely tell when a girl wants me. She gives me a certain walk. You can smell her pheromones going off. If she smiles at me, she gives me that look in her eyes. It's just like, damn, she's hungry. Then I know that I'm a food that she can handle.
So nonverbal communications that I would use to show that I'm interested in someone includes maintaining eye contact, because that shows them that I'm really listening to what they're saying and that I'm interested in what they're saying without actually explicitly saying so. And then to see if they were interested in me, I would look to see their body language and to see kind of like, is their body open up towards me or are they kind of shying away? And from that I can kind of gauge if they're interested in the conversation, and also if they're maintaining eye contact with me or if they try to avoid my gaze.
Some nonverbal cues that I do is definitely eye contact, just because I think eye contact shows that you are listening to what they're saying and it shows that you're interested in what they're saying. And I think that that's the number one thing when you want to show that you're attracted to someone, is that you're listening. And then some like body cues that you can do is just nod and definitely smile. I think smiling is a huge thing that shows attraction. And then something that I'm looking for is the exact same. So I'm looking for eye contact because I want to know that they're interested in what I'm saying. And then I want to know that they like what I'm saying. So I'm going to look for smiles. I'm going to look at how they're reacting to what I'm saying in terms of, like just body movements and stuff like that. But I think that eye contact is the number one thing.
So the nonverbal communication that I exhibit to show that I'm interested in someone includes maintaining eye contact with that person. It includes having open body language. It includes making small gestures such as nodding to reassure them that I am interested and I am engaged. And it also includes me having facial expressions that really shows that I am interested. Nonverbal communication that I look for to see if someone else is interested in me is similar. I would see if they are maintaining eye contact with me, because if they're looking everywhere else but me, that makes me feel like they are not too interested. I look at their body language to see if it's open or if they're shying away from me. I look at their facial expressions to see if they show that they are interested in me. And overall, I think it takes two people to really show that they are interested in one another, and it involves all of these qualities.
A slight look and a smile. If she smiles, she's interested.
It's got to be
The way she look at
the way she look, man. I mean, if she looking at you, I mean, you could tell if someone's feeling you. You know what I mean? It goes without being said. Maybe she give you that look in her eye, like she be giving you that yes, that must be that yeah look. You know what I mean? So I mean, I'd have to say that, or maybe she be like touching you in some type of way that might be a little bit more than a friend would. Like maybe y'all at the movies or something, or you're all at dinner and she touch your leg or your hand, and then she hits you with that look. That's how you know. You feel me?
Usually, touch will definitely show interest. If she touches you in any sort of way, she's probably flirting.
Nonverbal communication is defined as communication without the use of spoken word. This includes postures, gestures, facial expressions, and paralanguage, which is the pitch of your voice, how fast you talk, and your use of fillers such as and ah. For the most part, any nonverbal communication we exhibit is mainly subconscious and is done as a response to the situation we are in. Some of the factors that influence nonverbal communication are interpersonal accuracy, gender expectations, and first impressions. Interpersonal accuracy refers to how well two individuals can communicate nonverbal cues to each other. In order for individuals to successfully understand nonverbal cues, one person has to be good at sending them, and the other person has to be good at receiving them. Research shows that women are often better at detecting people's emotions and personalities. Gender expectations refers to the expected behaviors of a particular gender based on the role society has assigned it. What society expects of each gender ultimately influences how males and females will act, especially when it comes to nonverbal communication. For example, because society expects women to smile more, that is a very common nonverbal behavior that women exhibit. First impressions in nonverbal communication influence one another. First impressions occur instantly and are often based around the nonverbal communication one person is exhibiting and their perceived level of physical attractiveness. Individuals are also likely to base the nonverbal cues they exhibit off of the first impression they make of another person. More simply put, the nonverbal communication you see another person exhibit influences your first impression of them, and the first impression you have of another person influences the nonverbal communication you then exhibit. Some forms of nonverbal communication include eye gaze, showing interest, body orientation, mirroring, light touch, eyebrow flash, and pupil dilation. These forms of nonverbal communication are specifically associated with attraction and are often displayed by both men and women. However, there are some differences in men and women's nonverbal communication, which we will discuss later.
Eye contact is one of the easiest and most powerful ways to make a person feel recognized, understood, and validated. Like touch, eye contact triggers the release of oxytocin. When someone is attracted to you, they subconsciously will try engaging in lots of mutual eye contact. They do this both to feel closer to you and because they are interested in you and what you are saying. The difference between friendly gaze and romantic gaze. When someone is attracted to you, their eyes go eye to chest, which is a much more intimate way of gazing, whereas in friendly gazes, it's much more eye to eye, and their eyes don't typically fall below the mouth. Showing interest. Responding to what is being said. Nodding. Smiling. When someone is interested, they'll ask you personal questions. They listen to you without interruptions or distractions. While the desire to listen can act as a basic means of attracting you, it can also give them the opportunity to show just how much you mean to them. Body orientation. People are physically drawn to those they're attracted to. While someone who feels friendly or indifferent toward you typically will remain 2 to 10 feet away, someone who's attracted to you will get much closer. If your feet are pointing directly at someone, it's a sign of attraction or interest. There are 3 ways people will enter your personal zone. Number 1, they stand 0 to 18 inches from you. This is an intimate zone and you can feel the change when someone enters your personal space. Number 2, they lean their body toward you. Number 3, they sit next to you in your intimate zone. Mirroring. Individuals who are attracted to another will naturally mirror the body movements when they feel a connection. Mirroring can run so deep that breath rate, tone of voice, and walking pace will match. This is a part of a mating dance. Mirroring has been shown to make emotions contagious, and this helps us build empathy for other people. Touch. When someone is attracted to you, they want to touch you. Touch, like eye gaze, releases a body hormone, oxytocin. So it's an instinctive way of trying to strengthen your connection. Psychologists have created a body map that explains how the majority of people feel about touch. It's simple. Starting with a hand, the higher up you go the arm, the more intimate the touch. It's the opposite for backs. The lower on the back you go, the more intimate the touch. Eyebrow flash. When we first see someone we're attracted to, our eyebrows rise and fall. If they like us back, they raise their eyebrows. The whole thing lasts about 1/5 of a second and it happens everywhere in the world. Lifting eyebrows pulls the eyes open and allows more light to reflect off the surface, making them look bright, large, and inviting. A flash might be easy to miss, but they're so reliable. If you do spot one, you may know someone likes you before they've even registered it themselves. Pupil dilation. If someone likes what they see, their pupil size increases and so does their blink rate. If you want to up the odds in your favor, try increasing the blink rate of the person you're talking to by blinking more yourself. The person likes you, they'll unconsciously try to match your blink rate to keep in sync with you, which in turn makes you both feel more attracted to each other.
About 70% of the time, I think, women actually make the first move, but they make it non-verbally. Women very rarely make the first verbal risky initiative of doing something that's unambiguous, and which opens them up to personal rejection. Like, for example, would you like to go out with me Saturday night? It's very clear that you're going to be accepted or you're going to be rejected. And there's no deniability. You know, if women smile, they could say, oh, I'm just smiling because I'm happy. I didn't mean to. I wasn't saying that I was interested in you. But for a woman to say to a guy, oh, gee, I really would like to go out with you sometime. Can I have your number? Or how about Saturday night? Yeah, women still aren't doing that. I don't think they're probably going to start doing that anytime soon.
Female nonverbal communication. While there are general nonverbal communication indications of attraction, as we stated before, there are specific ways women show they're attracted through nonverbal communication. Self-touch. The upper body, head, and face. Women do this more as a way to groom. Females also tend to pitch their voice higher. They also tend to smile more and show their neck. Now we are going to proceed to watch a video about female nonverbal communication during attraction.
Behavioral investigator Vanessa Van Edwards. Good
Nice
to have
to
you
be
back,
here.
Vanessa.
Hi, thanks for having
So we're
me.
kind of talking about the way it works in the dating world. And you say most communication is nonverbal.
Yes, 7% is verbal content. Seven.
Just seven,
Just
wow.
7. So that means 93% is body language, facial expressions, and voice tone.
Okay, so if women are interested in a man, what are the signals they get? I'm so afraid to even move. What are the signals that they
Okay,
give
you can
off?
practice later.
Okay, all right.
So the first thing that a woman does when she wants to attract a male is she will often expose her neck. And you see this when women flip their hair back and they show that side of their neck. That's because they want men to sort of smell their pheromones. So you'll see women will tilt their head, they'll listen like this, they'll flip their hair back. That's the first thing that women do when they're sort of feeling like they want to attract a man. And so the next way is women will often, you'll see them touch this little notch right here in between their collarbone, and it's called a suprasternal notch. And women will often, they'll touch it when they're feeling like, oh, this is an intimate topic, or they're feeling like maybe their comfort zone is sort of, their barriers are breaking down. So you'll often see a man will bring up an intimate topic, and a woman's hand will fly right here. She'll leave her hand right here to touch it. So that's a signal for a man, okay, we're in intimate territory here. We should tread carefully, but it could be a good thing because she's sort of opening up to you.
Got it.
And then you say then there's the ultimate female flirty
Ultimate
look.
flirty. So this is when women tilt their head down, look up at a man, and bat their eyelash.
Male nonverbal communication. Staring. Low-pitched voice. His nostrils flare and his face generally opens. He'll try to attract your attention. His lips part. Eyebrow flash. He grooms himself. Now we are going to proceed to watch a video on male nonverbal communication during attraction.
What do men do?
Okay, so men, when you watch a group of men, you'll almost always see that they will point their feet towards the woman they're most attracted to. So on the Bachelorette, if you're ever watching that show, you can almost always see that men will point their feet towards the female.
So they would, let's say, for example, you are the object of my affection. I would turn my feet like this.
And your body towards me, because you want a direct gaze of the woman you're attracted to.
I don't know that sitting like this would be the thing
the
that
next
really turns you on.
You're oh, you're revving my engine. Actually, that leads me into my next tip, which is men often do leg splays, and I'm not going to demonstrate. Thank you.
You just pull your legs apart.
Yeah. So that's
there you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
We're done.
We're open. But that kind of makes sense, though, because they're.
It's a territorial display.
I
Thank
get
you.
it.
Territorial display.
And the last thing that men sort of do when they want to attract a female is they'll often put their hands in their pockets and expose their thumbs. So they'll put their hand in their coat pocket or in their pants pocket. the showing that thumb is like a confident.
Kinda like
like the
cowboys.
Cowboys.
Cowboys. There we go. It's the
As
ultimate
if the
cowboy
belt buckle
stance.
wasn't a signal enough.
Right.
Yeah.
It draws attention to them.
Yeah.
It's a confidence gesture.
The sexes probably have evolved sexually dimorphic means of sexual signaling to potential romantic partners. And females engage in a lot of what is called perceptive behavior. They do the hair flips and touching their hair, and they do eye gazes, kind of cock their head and look up under their eyelashes, and all sorts of stuff. So Monica Moore is the main researcher, one of the main researchers in this area.
Monica Moore, who is a leading researcher in the study of nonverbal communication, conducted a study in which she observed females' behavior in order to compile a catalog of nonverbal solicitation behaviors, otherwise known as flirting behaviors. She observed 40 randomly selected females in 4 different contexts: at a singles bar, a university snack bar, a university library, and at a university women's center meeting. Any behavior was categorized as flirting if it solicited male attention. She was able to construct a list of 52 behaviors she found the women in her study exhibited the most. Some of these behaviors included smiling, laughing, glancing, and a hair flip. Monica Moore's research has helped us understand that it is because of women's nonverbal cues that men end up approaching them. Although most would believe that men are the ones making the first move, these nonverbal cues exhibited by women are what end up initiating verbal flirtation 2/3 of the time.
He's documented that in contexts that are conducive to flirting, females actually do engage in a lot more of these behaviors. And she's cataloged a whole list of like 100 different things that females do. And she's also documented that men do respond to these things. So, in fact, there's a anecdotal story that some grad students of Dr. Moore were going to a conference to present about their research on this. And while they were at the airport waiting for the plane, I guess they went to a lounge or something, and there were two women, and one of them said to the other, "See that guy over there? I bet you $5 that I can get him to come over here and talk to me, just by nonverbal signaling alone." And so her friend said, "Fine." And so she started engaging in all of these proceptive behaviors directedly, specifically at him, probably looking at him briefly, looking away, looking at him, smiling coyly. And, after, I think most men are maybe a little dense or a little reluctant sometimes to overinterpret, or not. But eventually he got the message and he came over and talked to her. So.
Oh, hello.
Oh, hello.
Hi, how are you?
Fine.
So do you ladies,
Come here often?
do I come here? I come here a bit. I'm here, from time to time. Do you go to school here?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it. So I think I had a class.
She won the bet. She got $5. And for guys, they probably do some things unconsciously too. They try to stand up taller, stand up straight so they look taller. They probably puff up their chests a little bit or try to look better. They wear leather jackets to try to, look like they have more upper body strength, that type of thing. Yeah, so I mean, there's there's a whole literature on this, and it's an escalating series of nonverbal communication that has to be reciprocated. So the woman does something perceptive, the guy does something perceptive, and it has to escalate, and then it comes to verbal interaction, and the interesting thing about these things is that no one is taught how to do this specifically. To some extent, I think that we have sexually dimorphic adaptations to engage in these behaviors, and females engage in these behaviors cross-culturally. That's been documented. So people can read nonverbal behavior cross-culturally around the world, and the signals are sent back and forth. And that's probably how courtship first progresses among people who don't know each other, rather than verbally, it starts off non-verbally.
Another study regarding nonverbal communication was conducted to see if gender affects how nonverbal communication is perceived. In the study, females and males were presented with point light displays portraying knocking at a door, performed with different emotional expressions. Results showed that males surpass in recognition accuracy of happy actions, whereas females tend to excel in recognition of hostile and angry actions. Overall, the study helped show how gender affects the accuracy of nonverbal communication reading.
According to research done by Dr. Nora Murphy, gender norms have made women forced to smile. Women who don't smile get a backlash. They become known as having a resting bitch face. You don't see the same consequences for men. When talking about attraction, there are a lot of gender norms. Women will show their neck more, head tilt in a very specific context, like in a bar. However, men tend to eye gaze more as it gives a different tone. Staring sets up a power dynamic. Men do it more because we expect it due to gender norms. There's a big myth that if you aren't attracted to someone at first impression, you'll never be attracted to them. This is incorrect though. Attraction can change due to the mere exposure effect. A significant thing that people don't realize is that nonverbal communication is always communicated the same way. There is no way someone can think they see nonverbal communication with it not really being there. All in all, successful nonverbal communication depends on me being good at sending these messages and you having to be a good reader.